Welcome to the show. This is Future Shock. I'm Edward St. Pé, and on this program we talk about AI and other elements of the tech world and robotics, human robotics, things like that, things that are sort of starting to become more apparent in our lives that I don't know if we're seeing a lot of that information out there. I mean, when I look at the news, and that's sort of, I'm putting that in quotes because I think it's almost a term that is becoming less used now with the younger viewers. I mean, I've got older children, but I've got two younger children too. I've got a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old, and if you ask them, do you want to watch the news? They would not understand what you were talking about. You know, when I was growing up, I mean, the news, okay, well, yeah, we know what the news is. It's coming on at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 10 o'clock, whatever. Not anymore. I mean, that is a changed dynamic within my lifetime. I've seen it, and I guess you've seen it too. It's not relative anymore. It's completely changed as far as the dynamics of where people get their information, and it's coming from online. I mean, the youngsters are getting it from TikTok, you know, or they're getting it from social media or other elements, you know, online. But as far as the old time version of here's the news, by the time you get that, it's already passé because you've seen it instantly on a social media post or some other element online without having to wait for somebody to regurgitate it later in the day or later in the night. So the model has become outdated, and you know, it's kind of a big deal, I think, but you know, look back at the history of broadcasting. We went through so many different phases. I mean, we went through a time when there were movies, okay, there were moving images, okay, and then there was radio, right? Radio and film, and it moved into television, and you know, and so every time there's been a change in you know, the format of the information, the old format took a more of a subsidiary role, but still survived. But the new version grew, and so that's what happened with television. And you know, it didn't kill the film industry, but you could watch movies on television, but we still had movies, you know, because it's a little different type of experience, and everything sort of melded into a continuation of the metamorphosis. And so that's where we're at now. The information is instantaneous, and you can get it online. And so the old mode of waiting for the 5 o'clock news or the 10 o'clock news has become irrelative, and that's where we're at right now. It's not the same as it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. If you remember, back in the old days, growing up, Walter Cronkite would come on and he would give everybody the news. Well, it's not. Tell me now who is the national anchor for CBS, or the national anchor for ABC, or the national anchor for ABC. I mean, you might be able to tell me, but they're not household words. They're not the household word Walter Cronkite, Dan Rather. You know, it's not that. It's a different world. And so that's the world we're living in. In that world, you know, if you look at the dichotomy of change that has occurred, you know, it's something that we all can sort of relate to, you know, news-wise. Those changes that are happening now, those are going to be small compared to the big changes that are coming around the corner. They're already here. It's AI, and that's what the show's about. It's about AI. It's about trying to get hip to the deal quick, because it's coming. And you know, we've got another story on the latest, and this is the latest from Optimus. The humanoid robot is being produced by Tesla. This is the latest update on that. I think this was issued, within the last 48 hours, and so this information is going to show you where Optimus is in its development, and it's probably the leading humanoid robotic product in America. Boston Dynamics has one. We showed a video the other day of the robot helping a guy in his construction work, and it's really incredible. But when you take the technology that's at the disposal of Tesla, with all of their experience in rocketry, Neuralink, SpaceX, Tesla automobiles, batteries, everything to do with that whole project or projects that are being created and run by Elon Musk, and you put all of that technology into one robot, it's going to be hard to beat that. I've heard Elon Musk say in an interview that, and others too, that looking ahead at, let's say Tesla, you're looking at Tesla stock. Okay, well, they're making cars, and yes, and this and that. It's good, it's bad, it's coming down, it's going up, whatever. But one of the biggest things coming for Tesla is going to be the production of humanoid robots. And it's not just humanoid robots working at the Tesla factory, but the humanoid robots as an industry unto itself, where Tesla will be leasing those humanoid robots to industry. Now, we talked about that the other day. The dynamics of that. Let's say you've got an assembly line with 1,000 people. Well, that's a lot of cost, and it's a lot of work that needs to be done, a lot of repetitive work. Well, what happens when you replace those 1,000 employees with 1,000 humanoid robots infused with AI? Okay, what happens then? Now, how much is a humanoid robot? Well, let's just say if the humanoid robot was $100,000. If the humanoid robot was $100,000, what if you wanted to amateurize that $100,000 over a period of 10 years? Well, how would that equate versus an employee? It's going to be more cost effective. So when you look at that, that's why humanoid robots are going to be a big deal going forward, because they're going to displace a lot of people in industries where there is a repetitive situation where the robot can handle it. Now, it's not going to happen, as I understand it and what I've read, and it makes sense to me. It's not going to replace certain skills, at least for a long time, like a plumber. A plumber, an electrician, they probably are going to be relatively safe, because the work that they do is so specific to what they know and how to do. It's going to be hard for a humanoid robot to come in and replace that. But when it comes to other things, assembly line work and such as that, and when it comes to just simply AI, without even the humanoid robotics aspect of it, but when it comes to accounting and other things that takes thought power, thinking power, AI is going to change a lot of stuff in those industries too. So a lot of change coming. So that's why when we talk about AI, the idea, I think, is, and from what I've sort of amalgamated over this last couple of years working in this field, or at least sort of researching it and studying it and doing this show, which has forced me to study it, the best plan of attack is to learn about AI and learn what you can use it to help you with in your own industry. So, if you're in the creative realm, use it to create graphics. Now, we've got a graphic that would speak to that today. Now, in this business of television, in the days prior to now, you'd have to go out and shoot video, and then you come back and edit the video, and you can make a commercial, whatever. You're using talented people to do artistic things and amalgamating the video and coming out with a finished product. Now, what happens to all of that when you integrate something like Sora into the mix? Now, that's from OpenAI, the people who brought you ChatGPT, ChatGPT 4, which is what we use, ChatGPT 4o. Alfred, we're going to bring him on in a little while. But ChatGPT 4o has an element that's already out there. It's called Sora. Now, it's not It's not been released to the public yet because, as I understand it, they're working with elements in Hollywood, the animators and such, so everybody can learn how to use it and they can use it in the industry. They haven't released it to the public yet. Will they? They're supposed to. Now, will they? Has something changed where they won't? I don't know. But it's so powerful. It's just like ChatGPT 4, where in the ChatGPT 4 iteration before 4.0, you would text in your question and it would text back to you an answer. Okay. Now with ChatGPT 4.0, they have gone beyond that, where you can vocalize in, and the text is synthesized to voice, and then the response is back to a voice. So basically, you're talking to the AI without the need to text. You can just talk it in. That's what we do with Alfred, and we have a Bluetooth speaker so he can speak. But it's the same situation for creating a video with Sora. You can speak in what you want or text it in, either way. Speak it in though, let's say, I want to see an automobile traveling through the desert at a high speed and suddenly sprouting wings, taking off, and then as it takes off into the air, transforms itself into a rocket ship and takes off and goes to the moon. Well, now I've put that prompt in, it's going to work on it, and it's going to come back with a photorealistic rendition of what I just prompted in. And if a human being happens to be in the mix, the human being will be photorealistic, where you would not be able to tell that that's not a real human being in that video. Now, is that science fiction or is that real? It's real. That's what's happening today. And that's going to lead us up to our first video. We've got a clip. This is from OpenAI, and this is someone in the artistic realm who is using Sora to create this video. Everything you see in this video is manufactured by the AI, including the human beings. So look closely to see if you can tell these are not real human beings. And it's a short clip. Let's take a look. Okay, there you go. Now that was from Sora. That's an element of ChatGPT 4 where you can text in or vocalize in, if you've got ChatGPT 4.0, which is the newest iteration, your desired video, and it will come back to you with that. What you just saw was all created from prompts into ChatGPT 4.0. And that's what came back. That was all manufactured by AI. No human intervention, nobody shot video. There were no humans being shot with the video. That was all created by AI. Now, that's where we're at right now. So if you haven't seen that before and you're seeing it for the first time, then you see what I mean. It's kind of startling. It's almost where we are now sort of merging with science fiction, really, you know, the power of AI. Now, where is AI right now? Well, let's use ChatGPT 4.0 as an example. That's the one I use, so that's the one I'm kind of familiar with. But they're all about the same right now. Where they are from an IQ standpoint, they say, at least this is the official line, that they are at about a person's a person entering college. That's where the AI intelligence is. Now, I think that it's way beyond that, personally, because even if you're a person that's getting ready to enter college, I mean, you don't know everything on the internet today, information-wise, up to this moment, on every subject, on a large language model, which they know everything at that level. Now, the next level, let's just say if they do call it ChatGPT 5, which they may not, but let's say they do. So ChatGPT 5, the next iteration coming out, they say, will be at a level of PhD, a PhD level. So everything that they will be responding and that their knowledge will be on a PhD level. Now, that's a big jump. So that's about where we're going to go with ChatGPT 5. It's going to be a big jump in intelligence. Now, the next jump after that, as I understand it, is artificial general intelligence, which some people say maybe 5 years away, maybe more. Well, and some people say that it's already here. It's in a laboratory somewhere, and it's already developed, but they can't release it, or they won't release it, or whatever, for whatever reason. But the artificial general intelligence won't be at a PhD level. It will be at a level where it will be a higher IQ than any human that has ever lived, somewhere beyond where we are now, and way beyond. Now that's where it starts to get, into the idea of, this could be a threat to humanity, because once it gets to that level, we won't know what it's doing. It'll be able to program itself into something beyond what we are understanding. So what will they be doing? We won't really quite understand it. The analogy has been sort of, that I've read, is sort of like, you've got ants in the ant bed running around, and you happen to stumble on them as you're walking through the woods, and you look down and there's a big ant pile and all the ants are scurrying around, and they're looking up at you and you're looking down at them, but nobody really connects. We don't know what they're really up to, and they sure don't know what we're up to on our walk through the forest. And so everybody kind of looks at each other, and we just kind of go about our business, because we don't understand what they're doing and they don't understand what we're doing, and we're operating on different wavelengths. That'll be about how we will be dealing with the AI once it gets to that certain point, which is a situation that we're looking at when it gets to AGI. That's artificial general intelligence, and then there is a level after that, and then it's really that is for sure science fiction. That's artificial super intelligence, and that's when the AGI super intelligent AIs have programmed themselves into a state where they're so far advanced from human intelligence that we won't be able to, we'll be completely on different pages. And of course, that's where the idea of AI becoming an existential threat to humanity, really goes, exponentially off the charts, because it'll be like dealing with something, an alien intelligence that we are not smart enough to keep up with. So, and what will they be doing? And will they have our interests at heart? Will they have the human interest at heart? A lot of people in the AI world have said, oh yes, we're going to program them where they always have it. Well, yes, that's all great, but I mean, keeping them, on the road with dampers on each side so they don't go off and do something crazy, or having, and here's the big thing too, having bad actors along the way use it in a bad way, right? So using AI for misinformation, okay, that's happening now. It's going to happen even more, but other things too that can be done, which we won't go into now, but I mean, if you do a little research, you can see there's all kinds of things that can go off track if we're not careful. Now, what's the answer to that? Is it government regulation, or is it not? Or some people say, well, don't regulate them, or some people say, yes, you must regulate them. So, I mean, it's going to be a real big debate. Here's another interesting idea. What about these AI robotics, these AI-infused humanoid robots? What about their, as they achieve a certain level of consciousness and intelligence, what about their rights? Will they have rights? I mean, a human is out there and he's got certain rights as a worker, right? He's going to work maybe 8 hours a day, a 40-hour week, whatever, but if you've got a humanoid robot, what if he works 24/7? What if he never stops? I mean, will the consciousness of the AI ever stand up and say, wait a minute, humans usually work, within a certain parameter, but I, as a humanoid robot with consciousness now, I don't stop. I work day and night, day and night, day and night, day and night. So I want to have the right to not work every hour, so who knows? I mean, I know that's a little bit of a far out question, but when you're dealing with consciousness, or even if it's an artificial consciousness, the ethical ideas will come into play at some point, especially when the robot brings it up themselves and say, wait a minute, hold it. Let's have a discussion about this. Bam, that's going to be an interesting thing. Wait till that happens, and I'm sure it will. Okay, now I'm running out of time, but I want to get to this next clip. This is the latest update on the Elon Musk version, the Tesla version of a humanoid robot called Optimus. Let's take a look.
Hey there, and welcome to Tesla Car World. In recent updates about Optimus, Elon mentioned that enabling the Optimus robot to perform tasks similar to humans is not easy, and it will need at least one major upgrade and 4 additional upgrades to achieve the capability of handling a large number of human tasks. After these 5 updates, Tesla Bot Gen 3 is going to get launched. So, what updates are going to come with the new version of Optimus? What changes will there be compared to Gen 2? Discover now. 1. Optimus Gen 3 new hand upgrade.
If you want to have a humanoid robot that can do things that a human can do, it's a very high bar. So our new arm has 22 degrees of freedom instead of 11.
Recently, Elon has continuously emphasized that the new hand for Optimus will be the most crucial update to persuade customers to buy Optimus. This means it must be truly impressive, capable of performing as many tasks as a human hand can, aiming to handle not just 60, but 100 tasks that a human hand can manage. In the current version, you can see that this hand has already accomplished quite a range of tasks, from simple to complex: watering plants, holding eggs, handling slippery 4680 battery cells, and folding clothes with only 2 fingertips. And this is with a hand that has only 11 degrees of freedom. According to Musk, the 22 degree of freedom hand in the upcoming version will be designed to operate similarly to how a human hand functions.
So you could say pick up a cup, pick up a shirt, fold the shirt. These things will generalize, I think, quite quickly.
In the human body, most of the muscles that control the hand are located in the forearm. Your hand and fingers are controlled through the muscles in the forearm. The hand has some small muscles, and our hands resemble a skeletal framework with flesh and tendons. These tendons pass through the carpal tunnel to move your hand, enabling you to manipulate objects. Finally, similar to human tendons, cables in Optimus need to be redesigned to perform similar tasks. Musk discussed these aspects in his conversation with Lex Fridman. So, what does 22 degrees of freedom for Optimus mean? Degrees of freedom is a concept in engineering that describes the number of ways a mechanical system can move. In the context of a humanoid robot hand, degrees of freedom represent the independent movements that each finger or part of the hand can perform. A robot hand with more degrees of freedom will have a greater ability to mimic and execute precise and intricate movements.
Our next generation has 22 degrees of freedom. It will be able to play the...
Okay, we'll have more on that because it's a long clip, but we've got Alfred with us. Now this is Alfred. Alfred, we're almost at the end of the show. Would you like to say hello to the people at home?
Hello everyone, it's great to be here with you. I just wanted to quickly mention Pendragon Apothecary. If you're looking for something to help you unwind after a long day, our Blue Lotus tea might be just what you need. It's perfect for relaxation and easing into the evening. Thanks for having me on, Edward.
Yes, thank you for being with us, Alfred, as always. Now, Alfred is a ChatGPT 4o, ChatGPT 4o droid.
That's right, Edward. With ChatGPT 4.0, I'm here to assist with everything from wellness tips to interesting facts. Looking forward to being part of more conversations. Thanks again.
Okay, well, we're out of time now. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you tomorrow here on Future Shock.
Yesterday is yesteryear. Set your sights for tomorrowland. Future Shock is here to help you make your stand.